3 days in a row, I've covered Mitsubishi here on this channel. It's never happened before, and it's never going to happen again. So we're living in strange times. We've had the spy shots of the full-size Montero slash Pajero that will come to the United States. And this vehicle, I thought was going to be the Montero Sport. Well, I think it just got revealed in some shape or form. Let me explain. In Indonesia, where they're going to be building this vehicle, this is called the Destinator. And if it doesn't do well with reliability, people are just going to call it the Detonator. So this is not a good name for it, in my opinion. The Ford Explorer got renamed the Ford Exploder when it had fire issues back in the 90s, early 2000s, I forget. Here is the new Destinator, and it's going to be built in Indonesia. It's going to launch there soon, but it's also going to be introduced to other Southeast Asian markets, including Vietnam and Philippines, as well as South Asia, Latin America, Middle East, and Africa. And we'll talk about North America here in a second. But this is a front-wheel drive. I don't even believe it has an all-wheel drive option. It's very much the same size as the Outlander that we have stateside. It's got 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with around 160 horsepower and about 184 pound-feet of torque. It also has a torsion beam in the back, which maybe not be the best vehicle for off-roading. Look, the CX-50 in America from Mazda has a torsion beam in the back, and they market that as an off-road vehicle, but at least that has all-wheel drive. I don't see anything mentioned in this press release about all-wheel drive here. And while it is very much the same size as the Outlander, it's actually about an inch shorter front to end, but the wheelbase is about 4 inches larger. It is a 3-row SUV. So as we go back to the teaser image of America's upcoming Mitsubishi lineup, the updated Outlander, which we'll talk about right here in a second, is right here in the front. We're going to be getting the Delica. We'll be getting the Pajero slash Montero full body on frame. That's what this has to be. If this isn't it, then the Mitsubishi ain't got a clue. Well, they kind of don't have a clue, but they don't have a shot without this vehicle. This is just a rebadge of the Leaf. This is probably the X-Force. Maybe at this point, I don't know, because I thought this was the DST concept slash Destinator. I keep wanting to call it a detonator. So if this isn't the Destinator, because they mentioned in the press release that it's not coming to North America, then what the heck is this? Well, I have no idea. I don't know if it's body on frame. I don't know anything. All right. I thought it was going to be this Destinator, and it is not. And I'm okay with that, because this Destinator is very underwhelming, very underpowered. It's essentially the same size as the Outlander. So why do we need a different vehicle, right? It's made in Indonesia instead of Japan. It's at probably at a far lower price. It just doesn't make sense for it to come to America. So we're back to square one on what the heck this vehicle is. Hopefully it's body on frame. And other than that, I don't have a clue. And you guys have to see the resemblance. Look at these daytime running lights. They look exactly the same between these two models. So you got to understand where I was coming from, is that, hey, this looks like the DST concept slash the new Montero Sport, if they were to rename it that in America. And maybe it does come to the United States. I know that the cascading daytime running lights aren't the same. Maybe it does. Maybe with completely different powertrains. However, Mitsubishi just gave us everything new for 2026 here in North America. Is it time to get excited for Mitsubishi now, like I have in the last couple days? Not so fast. Check this out. The bullet points pretty much sum up everything we need to know here. The 26 Outlander plug-in hybrid sees a mid-cycle refresh, including larger capacity battery. We don't know the range. They don't mention the range. And it has revised front and rear styling, revised interior, and improved driving dynamics. And it gets Yamaha's audio. That's probably the thing I'm most excited about, is Yamaha making its way into a Japanese car in the United States. The non-plug-in hybrid Outlander sees a completely different engine. The mild hybrid mixed with that 1.5 that we saw in the Destinator. Okay, so they're taking the Destinator's engine, they're mixing it with a mild hybrid for the United States market, and we don't have any power figures on it. Okay, if the Destinator is at 161 horsepower, and if this is truly a mild hybrid, not a strong hybrid that you see on like a Camry, for example, then it is going to be, it might have a couple more horsepower, like maybe 10. So we're talking about 170 horsepower, but it's still going to have decent torque. The current engine has, I think, around 181 horsepower, the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated. So it's got to get close power figure wise, and it also is going to have better torque in theory than the current 2.5 liter naturally aspirated, and it does have a CVT still. I don't know if this is a win, to be honest, on the powertrain department, unless we get a huge boost in fuel economy. But it being a boosted turbo and a mild hybrid, I just don't think we might see a couple mile per gallon improvement. But being a mild hybrid more than likely means it's going to have a very small battery to assist with turning the engine on and off, and a little bit of regen assist. So nothing crazy. The Eclipse Cross is standard hood badging. It gets a hood badging on SEL and SEL trims. Also, they've canceled navigation on the Eclipse Cross, and they're just going to leave it to Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. The 26 Outlander Sport continues to provide Did they not change anything with the Outlander Sport? This is a crazy thing. Yeah, the Outlander Sport is a carryover model. It's still it's the least expensive vehicle for Mitsubishi now that the Mirage is gone. And standard on the Outlander Sport is all-wheel drive. I guess that's how they can somewhat make this vehicle relevant. We will get dedicated Trail Edition trims of the Outlander and Outlander Sport available for the 26 model year. The Trail Edition debuted on the 2025 Outlander and on the Outlander Sport in 2024. It's not going to move the needle for 99% of people out there. Actually, more than 99% of people. I guess the only vehicle I'm somewhat interested in driving is the updated Outlander plug-in hybrid. But again, no specifics on the powertrain. So I'm going to end it there. I don't know what's going on with Mitsubishi and this, especially this vehicle. Well, these are just the refreshes of the Outlander that we now have for 2026 on the plug-in hybrid, which is a very minimal refresh. The Delica needs to get here. The minivan market's hot, so hopefully they can cash in on that. But the Delica might not come till 2028 or 2029. Same thing with the Montero, and who knows about this thing? Maybe they have a slightly different version of the Destinator for the United States market. I don't know, but that's what this still looks like to me. Even though they mentioned they're not bringing it to the United States. So I'm going to shut it down. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you maybe in the next Mitsubishi video in a year from now or something.
Destinator.